reclusion temporal, a fine not less than 100,000 and not more than 500,000, and for reclusion perpetua, a fine not less than 500,000 and not more than 1 million.
Parliamentary inquiry, before we settle this, Mr. Chairman. I know that if we look at the laws existing right now, especially those laws that were enacted in the 50s, even in the 60s, some of the fines being imposed are so ridiculously low because of the effects of inflation. But I was wondering if there's a general effort to review this so that there would be a range of fines for reclusion temporal, reclusion perpetua, etc., etc., and even minor offenses, Mr. Chairman. You are the expert in laws.
There is such a corridor, in fact, but as you say, it's always because of our poor economy. It becomes very ridiculously low. So I don't know whether
Mr. Chair,
we can
impose
impose a fine
in
based
the
on
amount of hundreds of pesos only.
Yeah,
I noticed.
Mr. Chair, if I may, we looked into it actually for quite some time now, even when I was in the House. Not only to change and fix the fines to be imposed, but also the amounts in relation to the crime, like theft. 1932 law ang revised penal code. So ang bababa no amount, ang taas ng penalty, ang liit ng ninakaw. So with under present prices, magnakaw ka ng 1 litro ng gatas, ang penalty mo sobrang laki at sobrang taas. The problem, Mr. Chair, Your Honors, would be a constitutional provision that requires that we should inform the accused of the nature and cause of the accusation against him. Hence, we cannot make it a movable amount na depende sa consumer price index based on prices noong 1932, how much it is now. So we have to do it manually, meaning raise it, let's say this year, and then after 10 years, raise it again. The closest we were able to do, which was constitutionally permissible, was that which pertains to subsidiary imprisonment. Kasi 8 pesos a day pa rin po yun hanggang ngayon eh. Pag hindi ka nakabayad ng fine, tutubusin mo yung fine na hindi mo binayaran to the tune of 8 pesos a day in jail. Now, that 8 pesos was commensurate to the approximate minimum wage rate at that time. And since it is favorable to the accused, what we did was, and it's already pending in plenary in the Senate, it should be equivalent to the highest minimum wage rate prevailing in the country. That should be the rate of subsidiary imprisonment. And in this case, it would be the minimum wage rate in Metro Manila. Yun, moving target. But we cannot do the same for penalties because it would violate a constitutional provision protecting the rights of the accused to be informed of the nature and cause of accusation against him.
Mr. Chair, for the information of my colleague, I filed again in the 14th Congress. I was also the author in the 13th Congress, a bill reviewing and amending the corresponding fines in the revised penal code. Sad to say, the Committee on Revisions of Laws has not acted on the bill.
Yeah, well, I realize this is going to be a massive effort, considering there's so many laws. I'm still aware of some laws right now, for example, where the effect on the economy would be in the hundreds of millions, but the fine is only about 2,000 pesos.
Alin saan galing yung 1 to 500, 500 to 1?
Well, all dangerous drugs. The only problem is sa dangerous drugs, sa reclusion perpetua, it went up all the way to 10 million. So I just...
may forfeiture rin eh. May forfeiture properties.
Yes.
Mas may capacity naman sila magkapera, diba?
That's why I place it. I was suggesting that temporal 100 to 500 and then perpetua 500 to 1 million.
Is that deterrent enough in your view?
I leave it to the wisdom of the panel.
Kasi nga, these drugs usually ang lalaki ng pera niyan eh. Kaya,
Yes.
Sino usually ang gumagawa ng mga krimen na ito? Is it government, states?
Pareho.
this bill covers both state and non-state.
May I just for the record say that Justice Leonor Ines Luciano, former Justice of the Court of Appeals, as well as former Chairman of the Red Cross is here. And Governor of the Red Cross.
Although, of course, we have to be very prudent in setting the ranges of the fine, because in some instances, the higher the fine, the better for the law enforcers, because that gives them a room for, very sadly, a room for maneuvering and negotiation. Just like in the case of the enforcement of our drug laws. When an accused or respondent belongs to a well-off family, it is fiesta time for some law enforcement people.
So anything below 10 million is game. Bakit 10 million yung ano? Yung fine.
Oh, ano ba?
Pinamana ko. Saan?
Pwede na siguro yan.
Just for the record, Erin, can we have kasi manang
Ay-
for the record, just a basis.
I just want to take a look at the heinous crimes. Pag nakita natin sa heinous crimes, because it's what I would classify this as heinous crimes. Right?
Just so that it's not
It's not
said
arbitrary
arbitrary.
or capricious. Oh,
Wala. Para naman ang heinous crimes for excessive drugs o malaman.
dangerous drugs.
Not drugs in it.
Well, if we do it 100, kung heinous crimes, 100,000 to 500,000 yung prison temporal, and ang perpetual is 1 million to 10, 500,000 to 10 million, I think 1 million would be okay na yan, 1 million.
Okay lang sa akin man as long as we have enough for the record.
Yun ang basis na yan. Sa dangerous drugs, it's 500,000, 100 to 500,000 for prison temporal. And for prison perpetual, 1 to 500 to 10 million sa perpetual, reclusion perpetual.
Section 27, Dangerous Drugs Act.
Ano nakalagay rin?
Penalty of life imprisonment to death and a fine ranging from 500,000 to 10 million
Yun.
pesos.
Per act yan, Erin. Per act.
Per act.
So dangerous drugs. Here.
Good dyan eh.